at least be careful with it. Maybe only take one at a time. Let's see here. The one thing about Accelerator, I mean, obviously the basics are the same for any type of fat burner. It's going to increase your metabolism. It will increase heart rate for many people. But one thing that it has in it is 5-HTP. That's a really good mood enhancer for a lot of people. So although I wouldn't recommend saying, hey, this might help your anxiety, just know that that ingredient's in there.
What is it again?
It's called 5-HTP. It's a serotonin booster, basically.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of people take it just for mood enhancement, but that's something that I think is really, really, really good with our particular accelerator, because I don't see it in very many other products. So do you have any specific questions on Accelerator? I think that one's kind of self-explanatory. I believe I read over 50% of people, it's got over a 60% success rate or something like that when paired with Slim. I don't know if Amanda knows those numbers, but it is very, very good. I personally do not typically start people on it. I start people on a triplex combo, trying to get their body back regulated and back working normal and see how much weight they can actually lose naturally. And then if they hit a plateau, I'll add in Accelerator. So that might be a little
I
tip
agree.
on when you're.
I honestly, mom's got a lady coming Saturday to the thing that works at Paris with her. And I told my mom last night, I said, I never suggest anything. She really likes the block. My mom tells everybody about the block. Mom, you really need to start with the triplex combo first. Start with the triplex, get them cleaned out, and then you start adding the others. And I always stress that they need a triplex combo.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of some of the others as well. But right off the bat, it's kind of overwhelming to say, hey, you need 5 products.
Right.
So I like to start with triplex. If there's a specific issue, like the people that need the multivitamin because of the MTHFR gene, that's a whole different ballgame. But I almost always start people on triplex. So let me see. Let me read through this, make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, that like I said, Accelerator is pretty basic as far as fat metabolizers go. Just the 2 big things that I would say be aware of are the caffeine content in them, and again, some people are sensitive to that and some people aren't. Like me personally, Accelerator does nothing for my energy levels. Boost does, but Boost is a little too strong for a lot of people. So it's kind of knowing who your audience is and knowing who you're selling to be able to recommend. Okay, next thing I guess is BioCleanse, in alphabetical order here. Now, BioCleanse, as you're probably aware, what it's going to do is it's a gentle detox of your body. So it's not a colon cleanser, and that's really important to tell people because a lot of people think, I'm just going to be going into the bathroom, and that's not what this is particularly for. Does it help with that? Sure, it can if you're not regular. Most people don't realize they should actually be going to the bathroom 1 to 2 times a day minimum. And most people do not do that. So this is a very, very, very simple formula compared to some of our competitors, what their cleansers are. Vitamin C is very important to know. That actually increases your collagen production in your own body. Now, once you get past age 25, your natural production of collagen starts to decrease. Collagen is in everything. It's in your skin, it's in your bones, it's in your connective tissue, it's in everything. So it's very, very, very important to start taking something that will actually increase your collagen production. And that's what vitamin C can do. Magnesium, as I'm sure you're aware, many, many, many people are deficient in that and don't realize it. I think it's over 60% of people are deficient in it, mainly women. That can cause muscle cramping. That can help with bowel movements, obviously. It's very important for pregnant women. Now, you might get some feedback as far as too much magnesium from pregnant women. Just know that the 380 milligrams on the label, that's in 2 pills. So there's not 380 milligrams in 1 pill. That's in 2. So if somebody's saying, well, I'm not sure, it might be too much for me, then just have them take 1 as opposed to 2.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a very simple formula. It really is just going to help detox and oxygenate your cells, which will allow for better nutrient absorption and help wipe out all the things that the Probio 5 is going to do for you. So,
Right.
Do you have any specific questions on that one?
No, those are the ones. I think my biggest probably, I think the reasons I really needed to go over was probably the X factor, the omega, the kid vitamins, the X factor family, and then like the nerve support. I think, I mean, the slim, the boost, the accelerator, the block, the BioCleanse. I think those are the ones that I'm in. It's the other ones. Like when the lady from Canada was explaining to you all the vitamins she's got her daughter on. And then you're like, oh, well, that's a really good vitamin. That does it. That's what I think I want to be able to, like the X factor.
Yeah, that comes with the learning. It takes a lot of time to learn all of that. I mean, obviously, I've been doing this for a really long time, not necessarily with Plexus, but with the vitamin industry.
Right.
So a lot of this comes from my knowledge of past stuff. But of course, I'll try to pass on as much information as I can.
Right.
But like I said, we'll go over just the basics of each one. And then when we get to those ones that you have specific questions about, then just let me know.
Okay.
The next one I have is block, which I really want to go over because I don't think people realize the gist of all of this. It's not just to stop your carbohydrate absorption. Yes, it can decrease basically your conversion from carbohydrates into sugar, which goes into fat, by up to 48%. Now, what does that in that product is the white kidney bean. Okay, that is your actual carbohydrate blocker. You can go to a vitamin store and you can buy white kidney bean straight, and that's what that's doing. That's stopping the conversion from sugar into fat, basically. So it basically stops an enzyme from breaking down your the sugar or the carbohydrates in your diet. That's how it works. But another really important ingredient in there that a lot of people don't talk about is the brown seaweed. That is a natural fat metabolizer with no stimulant in it. So that's very important for people that have high blood pressure that can't take our boost or our accelerator. They can actually take the block, and it will help their body increase their fat metabolism. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
What it does, it actually is also an appetite suppressant. So that's why it's really important that you take it 30 minutes prior to eating, because it has to have time to actually get into your system, and it expands in your system, basically. So if you do overeat while you're on block, let me tell you, it's not very comfortable. But that's how that actually works. It's also a really good source of iodine. So people that have thyroid problems, so low thyroid function, this is actually a really good product for them because of the natural source of iodine that a lot of people don't realize.
Okay.
Did you have any questions on those?
So you said that it has an appetite suppressant in it, and that's why it's important to take it 30 minutes before.
That's one of the reasons, yes. But yeah, if you want it to act as an appetite suppressant, if you don't take it 20 to 30 minutes prior to eating, it's not going to get the full benefit of it.
So it's the main ingredient's the white kidney bean, which works as where it doesn't transfer your carb through the sugar or the diabetes. And then the main ingredient that you like is the brown sugar.
Those are literally the only two ingredients in there.
Okay.
So yeah, ingredients, and that's how it actually functions.
Okay.
Blocking, it's not just the blocking the carbs, which most people think. That other, the brown seaweed is actually really important, especially for people with low thyroid function. There's a really good explaining how it really works, what the enzyme is that it's stopping to break it down. There's a really good video. I'll have to find it for you and send it to you.
Okay, awesome.
All right, the body cream, I know that's pretty basic. It's supposed to detox from the outside, basically. I know that was originally made to go in conjunction with our breast check kits. I personally use this on my C-section scar, which it's pretty much gotten rid of it. I don't have a ton of information on the body cream. I can tell you it is a really good one just from looking at the different creams. The activated charcoal is really good. I just have basic information on the body cream, but
does that help with like acne?
A lot of people say that it does. I have, me personally, I have mixed feedback on that. I personally like it. It helped me with my scar, things like that. But I did use it on my daughter's eczema, and I didn't notice too big of a difference until we added in the ProBio 5. That's when I really started to notice a big difference with her. So
Trenton, my son, he constantly gets like cold sores and fever blisters all the time, and he's got like little bumps. My mom's like, it's acne. I'm like, I don't think it's acne.
Well, yeah, there's two different things. If it's acne, that's one thing. If it's fever blisters and cold sores, that's an entirely different issue because that's an actual.
Those, but he's also got acne. So I told him that, he did he took the ProBio 5 for about a month, and it started cleared up, but I had to get on it. I'm like, you gotta also scrub your face your face isn't gonna just get clean by taking a supplement. I get him like a sponge and a face cleaner, and he's almost 14. He's 17. And but someone said that the body cream was good for acne.
I think that you would be best if he was taking both of those, because I genuinely think that the inside is needed. When it comes to that, it's a huge link there. I think that it would help him more to do both, to use the cream as well. But I don't think that he's going to completely get rid of it just off of the cream. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Boost is next. Again, that's another basic one. That is going to be, from my personal experience, a lot stronger than the Accelerator. I think that it's better for people that are active. It might be too much for somebody that's more sedentary. So if somebody's looking for a fat metabolizer or fat burner, this is considered a thermogenic, actually, which just increases your internal temperature. If they're just starting, they might do better off of Accelerator. If it's somebody that's already in the gym and working out and very active, or somebody that takes a lot of caffeine during the day and so they have a high tolerance to it, that's when Boost might be better. I personally love Boost. I can't get through the day without it. But again, it might be a little too strong for some people that are sedentary. Let me see. As far as it's going to be very, very comparable to the Accelerator, except it does not have the 5-HTP in it, but it does have something called caralluma in it, which can also act as an appetite suppressant. It's a fiber, actually, so that can help absorb water weight, and it can help suppress the appetite. So, for instance, when I sell this to my family who works out a lot and they're very active, I make sure I let them know that they need to eat first. Because if they take this and then they don't eat, they're not going to want to eat, more than likely, if that makes sense, because of the caralluma in it.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
So basically, people that aren't trying to lose weight, they're just doing it for the energy source. Just let them know that the caralluma is in there for an appetite suppressant, so to speak, or it can act like that for many people. So they need to be aware of that, so they're still eating regularly.
Okay.
Let me know if I skip over any. I haven't looked at this binder in a while. All right, next is Ease. Both the capsules and the cream, and then we'll go over Fast Relief as well, the Nerve Health as well. I know we've got these out of order because they've renamed them, but the capsules themselves are one of my favorite products. Let me see here. It's got the green lipid mussel, bromelain, and turmeric in it. Now, turmeric is actually a spice. I don't know if you've heard of turmeric or curcumin. It is extremely, extremely beneficial for inflammation. So that's where people are getting a lot of pain relief from, or chronic, whatever you want to call it. Me personally, when I first started taking this, I had such bad knots in my upper back and through my neck. I had tension headaches every day that I literally could barely get out of bed. I was in tears almost every single day. I was taking aspirin every single day just to function. And within a matter of a few days, I noticed a big difference with the Ease capsules. Most people live with chronic inflammation. I personally think that every person should take something for inflammation because cancer feeds off of it. There's so many things that feed off of inflammation. I personally think everybody should take something like this. I realize it's a hard sell to somebody that's not in pain, but I absolutely love this product. Bromelain is actually a digestive enzyme, but it also helps alleviate joint pain. We sold it a lot at the vitamin store for joint pain, but it's actually a digestive enzyme. So it has two benefits for you. I believe it's bromelain's from pineapple, actually. Turmeric, it literally, it does so many things. I've been reading about it for years. It's really good for brain function. It's really good for prostate function. There's all kinds of studies about turmeric and what it can do, or curcumin, whatever way you want to look it up. So I think we've probably only just touched the surface with turmeric, but that's a really good one to actually look up.
In the capsules, it's the green lipid mussel, the bromelain, and the turmeric, right?
Yeah, and there's another ingredient that I'm actually not familiar with called serapinase. I don't know how to pronounce that. Looks like it's another digestive enzyme. It's kind of strange to put digestive enzymes in a pain type of thing, but actually you can eat things, and the food particles actually they I don't want to say they eat at your joints, but they bother your joints, and so that's why they actually include these in their joint formula. I know it sounds a little weird, but they did that.
No, it makes sense. Makes sense. I'm actually, like I said, I told you I have some health issues. I've been on many medications. I've done massive research, and I try to look for the more natural ways to do things, and all that synthetic crap. Because all those chemicals, you'd be blown away if you see all the medications that they ask you to take. I mean, I take losartan. I don't do lisinopril anymore because my liver got massively from it. I had to have an ACE inhibitor, I had to have an ARB, not the ACE inhibitor. And I take losartan, I take Coreg, I take Lasix, I take hydrochlorothiazide, potassium citrate, name it. But I try to keep myself down. I hate it. It's too much. I'd much rather be taking these products than all that crap.
Well, I think it's a balancing act when you're on some things. Like my dad takes lisinopril. He's on a few things because he had a stroke about 5 or 6 years ago. So he has anti-stroke medication. He's got some blood pressure stuff. So it's definitely a balancing act. You need to make sure your doctor's involved with what you're taking. And you'd be surprised. Well, maybe you would be surprised, but so many people that are on, medications and have been for years, they just want to stop and they want to go natural. Well, it doesn't work like that. Your body is pumped full of these things for so long. You have to get the balance. So yeah, I always tell everybody, make sure with those kind of issues, make sure you talk to your doctor.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The cream. This is another one that I've literally only tried a couple of times. I know Amanda has used it a lot, actually. I'm not sure if you have, Marissa, but I've used it here and there for temporary relief. I know some people swear by it, especially I know Amanda used it when she was pregnant. Again, I haven't used it that much, but it's just going to be your temporary relief. It does work on a temporary basis. It absolutely does, but more for long-term usage, people are going to need the capsules. The nerve health. Okay, let me look over this one here real quick. Now, nerve health, we have to be careful what we say about it because I know what it can do, but then we're not allowed to say certain things. Like, for instance, diabetic neuropathy. That is specifically what your alpha-lipoic acid is for. Are you familiar with diabetic neuropathy?
My mom has it. She was on the insulin pump. She had Lafayette done 4 years. And she's not needed insulin, but a few times her sugar's been a little higher than it should. That's why she takes a block.
Yeah. Okay.
But her feet are been hurting.
Yeah. I don't know if she's ever looked into alpha lipoic acid, but that is specifically what it's for. It's for nerve damage and specifically for neuropathy. And I've heard so many people tell me, not specifically from nerve health, but just taking alpha lipoic acid in general, about all the benefits they've gotten as far as their nerve health goes. This particular product, if somebody has sciatica, this would be something that I'd have them try. A lot of people with chronic pain in their back, their shoulders, their legs, things like that, they actually get more relief from this than they do from the other capsules, from the fast relief. Yeah. I would say it all depends on where the problem is coming from. So again, it's kind of a trial and error type thing. They can definitely take both of them together. But, and here's something, the lady that we talked to the other day, you and I, the mom, one of the products she was on was quercetin. I actually didn't realize that that's in this product until I'm looking at the ingredients.
So she wanted to do that one. So she should do that.
Yeah, and that's another one. Like, we had talked about several other things in this particular product. I didn't even realize that quercetin was even in it, but that was one of the things that she was taking, or her daughter was taking. So,
right.
So again,
Marissa, do you care that I send the link to Tracy and she just listens and mutes herself?
Yeah, of course.
Huh? I don't care.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. You know, Melissa, I was going to tell you too. I'm a big coconut water drinker. I love coconut water because of my potassium with my CHF and my kidneys and all that, you know. I found this one at, I don't know if you can see it, at Sam's. It's called Amazonia Coconut Water and White Tea. And it just has, like, low sodium, a really high potassium, which is really good. And I mix my Slim in this.
Oh, yeah?
And it's good. It's really good. It's like, it's not, I have a hard time drinking plain water. I really cannot ever just get, but I've done better with it. But I bought that at Sam's and I put my Slim in it. Oh, it's really good. It's really good.
That's good. Yeah, that's definitely good for your, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. As far as the nerve health, the one thing that a lot of people don't realize that I was telling both of you that we found out by accident is varicose veins. As we were discussing, the two ingredients that are good for that are called horse chestnut and butcher's broom. Those are herbs. They are specific for vein health, specifically for your legs. So that's how they can actually help with varicose veins. We used to have a formula in a product in my vitamin store that was just those two things, and then I think B6 or something else that's in here. And they were specific for varicose veins. But that, along with that, goes with any vein health problem. So edema, you guys know what edema is, right? Swelling, retention. Those two particular products can also really, really, really help with edema. So it's not just for your nerves necessarily. There are some other ingredients that are really good for overall health. The acetyl L-carnitine, that's an amino acid. It has a variety of functions too. So I would also look that up. I don't remember everything that it's good for, but I do know there was a lot of people with Alzheimer's and memory problems that were actually taking acetyl L-carnitine. So that is one ingredient in there that I'd have to actually look up everything that it's good for, but it is good for a lot of different functions in your body as well. Let's see. I'm just looking over the ingredients to make sure there's nothing I missed here. Okay, any questions about that one?
No, I think we talked about that. So you would suggest the Ease capsules for like over time more so than the cream, right?
Yes, absolutely. The cream, and I don't know if you've tried it, but it's only temporary. It's going to last for an hour, maybe 2 hours. Some people get more relief from it than others. I know I've tried it on my head for headaches. It's hit or miss sometimes with me. The knots in my back, it definitely helped with that.
Yeah.
I could definitely.
I rub it on my back, like when my kidneys hurt real bad. I would rub it on my back and then I lay on the heat pad. It helps somewhat, not like extensively. So I think I'm gonna definitely look into the E, and then just like wean myself off of my other pain medication.
Yeah, and you know, obviously you're in a completely different situation than say what might, you know, so you're gonna have to assess what you need to do.
Right.
My ex has 2 herniated discs in his lower back. He was rear-ended while he was sitting still and the person was going 50 miles an hour. His back is so bad, they're surprised that he's even walking in, you know, personal information. He struggled with painkiller addiction for years and years and years. It's at this point cost him. But I will tell you that I gave him 6 days worth of Ease. And in those 6 days, he said he got more relief from that than he did from his prescription painkillers.
Really?
Now, that may or may not be the case for everybody, because, again, you're dealing with a different kind of pain than he was.
Mm-hmm.
But, Tracy, hi. Can you hear me? Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, y'all be quiet.
My kids are downstairs. We were just talking about we're just going through the different products, but anyway, so it's definitely something to try. That was a huge thing for somebody that had been taking prescription painkillers for 10 plus years. He's been taking them, and to say that he actually noticed more of a difference with the keys than he did with the painkillers, that could be huge.
That's huge. That's very huge. Trenton's dad actually is dabbling massively. He got herniated disc. And he's telling me that they found masses on his brainstem and that he's got brain tumors. And if you have a brain tumor, Shane, they're not going to let you walk around. So I don't know the gist of it all. I don't know how much I really believe him. But his dad and mom are trying to help him, and they want him off the painkillers. So this is something I'm definitely going to mention to them and have them try it,
Have you seen the page Addicted to Plexus?
No. Is it on Facebook?
Yeah, there is a Facebook page called Addicted to Plexus, and it was made by the guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Amanda knows who it is. He is very open about him facing drug addiction. Meth, I believe, was his drug of choice. Probably started with painkillers because that's the way that a lot of people progression. But he swears that taking Plexus products is a reason that he was able to actually beat that addiction. Now, of course, he wasn't just taking one product. He was doing triplex, trying to, detox his body and things like that. But I think that the mix between helping detox and having the additional things to actually help with the pain, him mentally past where he was. But definitely look that up because it's a good site. It's not just for drug addiction, but that majority, I think that's where it started for people that were battling with addiction problems. And there's a lot of Leo. That's his name, Leo. You've probably heard of him.
I think so.
He's got a great story as far as battling meth addiction.
So I just go on Facebook and look at Plexus and add it.
Yeah. I'll see if I can add you to the group, but it's called Addicted to Plexus.
Yeah, definitely, because I actually reached out to Shane's sisters on Facebook, and actually his niece is 21, I think, Maddie. I actually shared a picture last night. She was in the airport and met Tinley. Tracy, I don't know if you saw, I tagged you in that.
Which one?
Tinley, remember I tagged you last night? Trenton's cousin met Tinley in the airport.
Hold on.
I reached out to Maddie. That's Trenton's, it's Shane's, niece. And I've reached out to her. I'm going to talk to her more about being an ambassador. But I think that if I can reach out to his sister and his niece and stuff to do it, then maybe he'll be more willing to try the products, And we all want to help him. It's sad. It's very, very sad.
Well, unfortunately, when I've learned the hard way, you can't force somebody to get help if they don't want it. It's unfortunate, but all you can do is just keep on offering and keep trying.
Yeah.
All right, the next one I have is the Mega X. This one, you guys can legitimately say is one of a kind. The reason it is one of a kind, it is because it is the only complete omega sourced only from plants. When I say complete, that means it has 3, 6, and 9, omega 3, 6, and 9, which are familiar with, and also 5 and 7, and there's no. So that's a big deal for a lot of people that don't like the fish aftertaste because they're pretty gross. Also, 5 and 7, they were on omega 5 and 7. They were on Dr. Oz not too long ago, and there was a big push for them. And it's really hard to find them in stores. I know this because we didn't have any in my vitamin store. So having it all in one with no fishy aftertaste is actually really, really big. Let me see. This is good for pregnant women because omega 7 for fetal brain development. It's also good when you're breastfeeding to increase the good fats that are in your breast milk for the child. Let me see here. Everybody says if you take it, I'm not taking this one currently. If you take it right before bed, it can increase your sleep because it does help with relaxation. Omegas in general help with joint mobility. They actually lubricate your joint. The oils in them do. They can help with, as I said, brain development, eyesight. They can help with relaxation. They can help with cholesterol regulation. There's all kinds of things that omegas can actually help with. This is one that I want to concentrate a little bit more on. If you guys are doing some research, look up sea buckthorn. Sea buckthorn. Yeah, it's an ingredient. It's either 5 or 7. I can't remember.
How do you spell it?
It's SEA and then BUCKTHORN. Sea buckthorn.
All right, I got buck. I got
Yeah.
B-U-C-K, and then you cut out.
But there was a big run on that in the vitamins as well. Another one of those. So that's one of those that I want to do a little bit more research on. But again, you're getting let me see, avocado oil in there. I mean, you're getting some really good fats, which is why it's really good for breast milk, the quality of breast milk. So you'll see a lot of people on the Plexus and Pregnant that take that.
You said it was 3,579.
The 3 normal ones that everybody knows about are 3, 6, and 9. So if you go to a vitamin store, almost every fish oil or supplement, omega supplement will have 3, 6, and 9 in it. The 5 and the 7 are the other ones that make it a complete omega. Those are the ones that are coming from pomegranates, the sea buckthorn, the avocado, the almond flour, things like that. Okay, so ProBio 5, one of my personal favorites to argue about. Okay, the main thing to remember about the ProBio 5 is this. It is 3 products in one, okay? It's not just a probiotic, and that's where a lot of people will get very confused. Probiotics, basically, each strain does something different for your digestive system or for your body. So it will concentrate on a different part of your body, which is why we have 5 different strains in our probiotic, okay? So that's one thing that people are going to be looking for. You also have digestive enzymes in there. Your digestive enzymes will actually help you break down the food better so that your body can better absorb them and then excrete what you don't need. So think about it. This is the example I always use. People that are lactose intolerant, okay, their body does not produce the enzyme lactase. So therefore, when they're drinking milk or eating anything with dairy in it, they get what we call bubble guts because their body cannot physically process the milk that's in there, the lactase. So they need to actually take an enzyme to help break that down. Okay, that's what digestive enzymes do. They all focus on a different type of food, whether that be fat or protein or carbohydrates or whatever, or milk, whatever it may be. They all focus on something different. So that's 2 of your 3 products that are all in one. Okay. The third thing is the grapeseed extract, which is an antifungal. Okay, so you have 3 products in one. One very important thing to remember is it doesn't have to be refrigerated. If you guys are familiar with probiotics, if you would have talked to anybody even 3 years ago, they would have said it's not a good probiotic unless it's refrigerated because these are live organisms, and if you don't refrigerate them, they will die before it won't be as potent. Well, ours is actually made from freeze-dried organisms, so they do not need to be refrigerated. There is a stream in our let me see, I can't remember which one it is. The Plexus coagulator. That one actually preserves itself until it hits the stomach acid. So that's another reason why ours is a little bit better because it's not going to be immediately broken down by the acid in your mouth. You know, there's a lot of barriers before it actually gets down into your digestive system, and this one actually will because of that ingredient. So ours is different because of the permeability. So instead of just most probiotics, what they do is they flood your system with good bacteria and then they, in essence, push it off the bat. Well, ours doesn't do that. That's why ours is not as strong. Ours actually will help break down and kill that candida overgrowth and allow these enzymes to actually get into your system, if that makes sense. So it's not just masking the problem, it's actually going and fighting the root of the problem, which is why people get so many more benefits from this than they do from any other probiotic I've personally ever seen. Do you guys have specific questions about the probiotic? I mean, there's like so many things that you could talk about in the probiotic. Those are your basics that's different. Do you guys have any specific questions about it?
Where do you go to like find a bunch of research on probiotics?
Where can you find it? I don't. You just have to kind of search.
Google it. I'm getting the right information.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I want to make sure that when I Google, I find the right information, the correct information about
Well, I think that, that's why we're kind of doing this. Giving them basic information is probably a little bit better, given the overall of what it does versus this is what this enzyme does, this is what that enzyme does. You know what I mean? Because you're not a doctor, you nutrition, and they don't expect you to. So just the basics of these are the three main things that a probiotic does and what makes it different. Telling something that's actually made from freeze-dried bacteria having to be refrigerated, that's a big deal because people won't buy probiotics that have to be refrigerated. You know what I mean? So it was a huge issue when I was running the vitamin store. I couldn't sell probiotics to people to travel because most of my customers were international. So that's a big deal. And then the fact that you've got the digestive enzymes in there, that's why you get so many different benefits from this versus just what a regular probiotic would do. The fact that you will hear this word pronounced a ton of different ways, but the chitokinase, however you want to pronounce it, that's what actually breaks down and will kill the candida. And I can promise you at least 90% of the probiotics out there will not have that ingredient in there. I never saw it in my vitamin store the whole time. So you can pretty much you can find a link between gut health and almost everything out there. If you search Google, the link between, let's say, autism and gut health, you will find some studies on it. Like you will find studies on pretty much everything linked to your gut. So I think that people are starting to realize how important that is and how many different things this can actually help with. And I'll tell you, I was not a believer at all in probiotics until I actually took this one. I read about them. I know what they're supposed to do, but in my vitamin store, that's not what they did. I never had a single person come back and say, oh my God, that made such a huge difference in XYZ in my life, and we're getting people every day that come back and say that about this one. So obviously this particular blend of probiotics and digestive enzymes is really, really doing a lot of good.
How do you spell that ingredient that helps with the candida?
It is CHITO. Let me see here.
I can't hear you at all.
Okay.
Maybe just send it later to me in the chat or something.
Okay, I will. It's CHITO.
CHITO?
Yeah, and then let me see. It looks like SANASE.
Okay, chitokinase.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Yeah, chitokinase.
Chitokinase. And that helps with the overgrowth.
Correct.
Now, what I wanted to ask you, and this is a big thing because I'm in a support group for my kidney disease, and a lot of us are constantly on antibiotics, like a low dose course. Most of the time, we're very susceptible to UTIs and kidney and bladder infections. It's very easy. I used to get them when I was 14 and 13, 14, and 15 when I was not sexually active. And I didn't know I had this disease in my kidneys that causes that. I used to get my butt beat from my dad, And so we constantly, and everyone's like, oh, you got a UTI because you had sex and it's dirty. Well, no, there's so much more reasons why you can have a UTI, or a bladder infection. And we're constantly on antibiotics. And I know that we can doesn't the probiotic help with doesn't that counteract?
Yeah. It doesn't counteract. It actually works with it. If you are on an antibiotic, you should always be on a probiotic, period. And shame on your doctor if they never told you this. But have you ever heard people say if you're taking an antibiotic, eat yogurt?
Yes, absolutely.
It actually is because of probiotics. Now, I'll say that that's not really all that accurate because most of our yogurt doesn't actually have probiotics anymore because of the way that it's processed.
Right.
But that's where they came from. Perhaps 10 years ago, there were actually probiotics in yogurt. I don't know. But they'll tell women to do that to avoid yeast infections. Well, the reason why that's the same reason why you need to take a probiotic while you're on antibiotics. Antibiotics are wiping out all of your good and your bad bacteria. Okay. So if you have yeast overgrowth and you've got these probiotics or these antibiotics that are wiping out everything, well, guess what? Now your yeast is growing even more. Okay?
Yeah.
What a probiotic is doing, while an antibiotic is killing everything, the probiotic is replenishing your good bacteria.
Okay.
Okay, so it's really, really, really important to take it while you're taking the antibiotic. Absolutely. You'll notice people that take antibiotics, and maybe these are side effects that you've gotten. They'll get diarrhea or constipation. They'll get really tired. They get nauseous. They can't eat. Things like that. Those are all side effects of the antibiotic. And so if you take the probiotic, it should help with some of those symptoms.
Right. And that's exactly what, because I mean, and then you got to be careful in the support group too about, if you have like financial interest in things, we can't like just go on the page and publicize. We have to put it in the files. But I've actually become friends with a lot of the ladies in there, and they're on my personal Facebook page. So now I can share it on my page and tag them in it on my page because we're friends. So that's the biggest thing is that, there's actually another lady in Canada that just bought a probiotic, and I told her about ours, and then she ran out of hers. She was to try. So.
Well, I will tell you, I'm in a lot of twins groups, obviously, and I can't share this stuff on their page either, but I do meet them personally. They'll private message me if I say something where it just kind of triggers their feeling that I know what I'm talking about. They'll message me. You guys probably are familiar with Millie. She actually came from my twins group online. I've actually never even met her in person, but her son is autistic. One of her twins, and they're the same age as my twins. And so we started talking about the digestive issues that happen as a side effect of being autistic, some of the problems that they have. And she bought the probiotic specifically for that reason. And within a week, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but we all have kids, so we understand this. I think Jameson was 18 months old and he ate a Cheerio for the first time without throwing up. I mean, that was how bad his digestive issues were, that he literally couldn't even eat solid food without vomiting. And the probiotic made it so that he could actually start to eat some whole food. It can help so many people. I'm a huge believer of the probiotic now that I've seen it in this particular form. Again, I wasn't before I took this, but I definitely. All right. Oh, and we were talking, Tracy asked about taking the BioCleanse if you're on on an antibiotic as well, because the thought process, and I understand this thought process is the BioCleanse will cleanse you out of the probiotic or the antibiotics as well. And that is actually not true.
Okay.
I did research that to make sure I was correct, but what I read was you should actually take a cleanser along with it, because the quicker you can get whatever is infected in your body out, the better off you're going to be. So you should continue to BioCleanse, and you should continue to take the probiotic. So
when on an antibiotic, it is suggested that you do take the Probio 5 and the BioCleanse.
At the very least, the Probio 5. Always take a probiotic when you're on an antibiotic, but the BioCleanse is kind of extra detox, so to speak. All right, let's see here. What's next? P96. This is another one that took a little bit of convincing for me, to be honest with you. And if you read a label and you compare our label to another competitor's label, you probably won't think this is a great protein. There's only 15 grams of protein versus I'm used to 25, 30 in each scoop, so it might be a hard sell. But if you go and you actually research how it's made, how it's manufactured, it is actually a fantastic protein. There's different processes to actually make proteins. There's hot pressed and there's cold pressed. Ours is cold pressed. Now, what that means is it's actually preserved its vitamins and minerals throughout the manufacturing process. Okay. Things that are hot pressed, if you go into a store and you look at a whey isolate protein, are you guys familiar with the difference between whey concentrate and whey isolate?
No.
Whey isolate is going to be your quickest absorbing protein. So most people that go and work out, they will have a whey isolate protein shake right after they exercise, because they want to replenish those glycogen stores right after they exercise. A whey concentrate, it's a cheaper form of whey. It's not a slow release protein, but it's slower than what an isolate is going to be. Ours is a mixture of both of them. But 90 something percent of the isolates in a store are going to be hot pressed. So if you look at or warm pressed, if you look at their label, they won't have any vitamins and minerals in them because they've been taken out during that manufacturing process. Ours still preserves those vitamins and minerals. I think there's over 20 of them in our protein. So that's a really big thing that most manufacturers of isolate proteins have not figured out how to do yet. Another really big thing about ours is it's from grass-fed cows. So people that's important to them, eating organic and eating clean and things like that, that's a huge selling point because, back to Vitamin World, if you walked into my vitamin store and you said, okay, I want a protein from grass-fed cows, I couldn't tell you which one was because it's not put on the labels. You just don't know. Well, ours is.
It's gluten-free, right?
What's that?
It's gluten-free.
Correct. It is. Let me see here. I'm trying to read. There is a fiber called glucomannan in it. And this is probably why 96 can actually help with weight loss. Glucomannan can absorb up to 200 times its weight in water. So it's going to help you feel fuller, longer. It's going to slow your digestion, which will make sure you're full longer, things like that. Glucomannan is very, very, very popular in vitamin stores as well. It's a really dense fiber. I want to say that they did some studies about it with blood sugar as well. So that's probably why it's included in ours. We sweeten it with stevia. Are you familiar with what stevia is?
Yes.
Okay. That's very important that none of our products have artificial sweeteners or colors in them. That's really, really, really important, especially when it comes to the protein or the kids multivitamin, because those are two very, very difficult products to find without artificial sweeteners. All right. Any other questions about the protein?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Next is Slim, which obviously you guys are pretty familiar with, I think. This has such a wide range of benefits to it. Obviously, the things that we're allowed to say are it's the most natural way to lose weight, helps by regulating your blood sugar, your cholesterol, and your lipid levels. Other things that it does that I've seen people, have a lot of benefit for hormone imbalances, inflammation, pain, blood pressure is a big one that I've seen it regulate with both my parents and my grandma. Let me see. It is caffeine free, so it's going to have less than 2% caffeine in that green coffee bean extract. So it is safe for people that are sensitive to caffeine and or have high blood pressure because it's not going to stimulate their heart rate. Again, we have alpha lipoic acid in there, which can be another reason why this helps with some pain for some people because that does help with nerve function. In the Garcinia cambogia, or Cambodia, depending on who you talk to, what that does is that also helps stop the conversion of fats or of carbs into fat, basically. So that is the reason why it's really important to take it 30 minutes before you eat. I know they say you can take it anytime, but if you want to get your maximum benefit out of it, you take it 30 minutes before you eat. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of studies with that particular ingredient with diabetics and people with blood sugar issues, and that's the main reason why this product works for weight loss or weight gain if that's what you need. I mean, I needed to gain weight when I started, and I did, so it's not just for weight loss.
So you were able to gain weight by taking Slim.
I was, for whatever reason, I was going through a very stressful time, and my body, the way it responds to stress is I drop weight very, very rapidly. When I started, I was underweight, and I started taking the Slim and a couple other products. I basically started on Triplex, and I can tell you, I'll tell you my appetite probably came back, and that's one of the main reasons, but there was a reason why my appetite came back. You know what I mean? And the only thing that was different was the Slim. So there are plenty of testimonials out there of people that have gained weight because they needed to. So the way that I describe this is slim gets your body back functioning the way it was meant to. Is basically, you know, everybody has a reset point, and this is trying to get you back to that point of where you're supposed to be. You might get some, I'll say, flack, feedback, some questions about chromium. There are several different types of chromium. Our type of chromium is called chromium polynicotinate. It is the most absorbable type of chromium out there. It is, I read it, it's actually binded to niacin, which is why it's more absorbable. And probably why it works better. Almost every weight loss product that you see out there will have a chromium in it because it's kind of like a fat metabolizer. It also helps with blood sugar. But again, you might get a little bit of question, especially from pregnant women, about how much they can take. This one is safe up to, I want to say 800 to 1,000 micrograms a day, something like that. So it's not in a huge amount, but people, you know, such as yourself with kidney or liver issues, they should definitely be talking to their doctor and making sure that they're okay with this. Just to make sure that because of the way that it's actually processed in your body, you want to make sure that your doctor is okay with that amount of chromium that you're taking.
I'll tell you, I mean, like I said, it's a genetic effect. I've had this, and most of the time, you're not symptomatic at all. You're asymptomatic, and then it hits women in there's men that have it too, but it seems to be way more common in women. And they're now thinking that it's hereditary as well. Like Delaney, remember I told you she has preemie. She's been having issues. She's been wetting her pants at the age of almost 8. So that's what's making me think her kidneys are giving her an issue. But I will tell you that since my pregnancy with her at the end of 2007, I worked at Beef O'Brady's. I was running around. I was 155 pounds. I looked good though. My weight was important. I didn't work out, but I ran my butt off. I looked great. And then my kidneys became an issue in my pregnancy with her. My right kidney was, because pregnant women produce 20% more calcium than non-pregnant women. My body was producing like 50% more calcium because my kidney stones are all calcium ones. And once I signed on with Odie and Brian in June of 2014. And I took it 1 month, and then I just didn't have the money and didn't do it. And then last February, I purchased stuff, and I felt the best I felt. I didn't have any pain in my kidney, and that is very rare for me. That I mean, my mom came home from work, and I had weed eated the whole front yard and put mulch down. She said, "Oh, did Mr. Mink come by?" That was our landlord. I said, "No, I didn't." She said, "What the hell? What'd you do with my daughter? Where's Marissa?" You know, like, that's not for me. That is not me. So for my mom to see that was a big, you know, like, okay, these products really do work. And I told her, you know, I said, "Mom, she's miserable with work, and she'll be 64 in March." And I told her, I said, "This is our year. This is our year. We're going to do this. I want to get her better."
Yeah.
So that's my biggest goal.
Well, I mean, if it works, then, you know, that's great. The proof is in the pudding, so to speak. You know, if you're
exactly.
We know something's working.
Exactly. And, you know, Tasha, the one with the daughter that's got the issues, I met her through the kidney Facebook page. The other girl that commented, Christy Watkins, she's actually pregnant. She's 35 weeks with her with her 4th baby. She's been having severe issues with the kidney. And I told her, because I know we're not supposed to tell people that we're going to help with their, you know, $34.95 for the first year and all that, but I'm going to pay for her first year. She can start selling the products to get money to pay for hers. And I see her going far with it too.
Yeah.
She's suffering. The poor girl's been in the hospital more than a month. And I met her through the page, you know. I've met many women on there that can benefit from these products. So that's why I wanted to sit with you and ask you, okay, what, you know, what I can and what I can't say, and how that all works.
Well, that's a juggling act for everybody right now.
Yeah.
I think that it's important to know there's a difference between, let me say what you can say publicly and what you can say privately.
Right.
So as far as posts go, and Odie can help a little bit more in a little bit, but as far as posts go right now, keep it very basic about, if it doesn't say it on the label, you probably can't post it right now.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that if somebody comes to you privately and says, well, this is what is going on in my life, or this is what I'm experiencing, that doesn't mean that you can't go back and say, well, this is what I've experienced. And so this is a possibility. You're not diagnosing, you're not telling them it is going to do something, and you're not publicly saying that it's going to help with that. But you can tell them what your experience is, or what your customer's experience is, or what your coworker's experience was. You can relate those stories to them privately. Mm-hmm. Just don't. Right. The last two products, I think, if I got all of them, are going to be the X Factors. We'll start with the chewables because those are a lot easier. They are really good multivitamins for kids. I don't know if you guys have looked into kids' multivitamins before, but let me tell you, I didn't have a single solitary one in my store that didn't have some type of synthetic sugar in it, and this one doesn't. It's also sweetened with stevia. The biggest difference in this is that it doesn't have the aloe blend. Other than that, to my knowledge, it is almost identical to our actual capsules of X Factor. It has the New Zealand blackcurrant in it, and it's actually the same amount that's in it. But adding the aloe in is huge, and this is patented. So again, there's not another one out there like this. But aloe, as I'm sure you've heard, can increase your nutrient absorption up to 300%. That's not just for the multivitamins. That's with food in general. So you can think of it as, now, since you're taking the aloe, you're getting benefits from aloe. Things like with stomach, it helps coat your stomach. It actually can help people with ulcers. There's all kinds of benefits to aloe itself, but it also increases the absorption of nutrients in your multivitamin and from the foods you're eating. So for an example, I have, and this is what I was talking to your potential about, I've known people that were on prescription vitamin D. A lot of people are. Typically, prescriptions are 50,000 IUs, that's international units, once a week. So that averages out to, I believe it's like 7,000 something a day. Okay. Ours has 1,000 IUs in 2 pills, okay, of vitamin D. Now, I have actually read testimonials where people will start taking our multivitamin and they can actually get off of their 50,000 IU vitamin D prescription just in replacing it with 1,000 units. That tells you how much more they're absorbing from our multivitamin than they do from these prescriptions or from other vitamins. Does that make sense?
So, yeah. So the prescription ones are 50,000.
Quickly, there's some lower, higher, but that's the average amount is going to be 50,000 units. Now they only take it once a week because it's
50,000 once a week, right?
50,000 once a week. So if you average that out, then I believe it comes to an average of about 7,000 a day. So that's 7 times stronger than what ours is. But I've actually read quite a few testimonials about people, because they get their blood work done and they can see how their vitamin D levels are, and they've actually get off of that prescription because they've absorbed so much more through our vitamin. Again, that's not something that I would post on your page publicly, but that is something that's a possibility to talk to someone about privately.
Right.
So you've got the aloe and then the New Zealand blackcurrant. If you have not looked that up, I definitely suggest looking it up. I believe there's over 50 vitamins and minerals in there, including iron. It's one of the best sources for iron. So when you have, say, somebody wanting a prenatal vitamin, they're going to tell you, oh, well, you're lacking in calcium, you're lacking in vitamin A, you're lacking in iron. Well, actually, we're not. It's in the New Zealand blackcurrant. It's not listed on the label, which I'm sure there's a reason why. But so you just kind of have to research what that's good for. But I happen to know that it's a very good source of iron. So a lot of pregnant women take it. The only thing, to my knowledge, that someone might want to increase from this multivitamin is actually adding in the omegas if you're pregnant, because of the fetal brain development. But from a label standpoint, in my personal opinion, it has everything that a prenatal will need. We can talk about the folic acid, folate. That's what they just changed not too long ago in our multivitamin. Folic acid is synthetic. Folate is natural. Okay. There are a lot of people out there that have, Tracy, I believe you said you had the gene, didn't you? The MTHFR gene. They cannot, and I'm not going to get into the huge science of it, but it's a problem with methylation. Basically, your body has to convert folic acid into folate by adding a methyl group onto it in order for your body to actually use it. Well, people that have this gene cannot do that. So they literally cannot take folic acid. I have not gotten an opportunity to study too much into it yet, but I've read there's a lot of new research saying folic acid is actually causing problems for people. Not just that they can't use it, but it's actually causing problems. So I have a feeling soon all doctors will start telling their prenatal patients to take folate versus folic acid. So I'm glad that we did change that. If somebody asks, our vitamin D form is D3.
D3.
If somebody randomly asked me that and I had to look it up. So just an FYI there. Let me see. You might find people that can't take B vitamins because of blood clotting disorders. I can't remember the name them off the top of my head, but that is another reason why. What's that?
Coumadin?
No, there's some blood clotting disorders where people actually they can't take the B vitamins. I don't know the exact reason why, but I've had a lot of
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
it's an issue. And in these particular ingredients, those forms, they can take this multivitamin. Were there any other questions about the multivitamin? Like I said, the only difference between the chewable and then the X Factor pills are going to be that aloe, but that's really big. So if you have somebody asking about a child, if they're able to take the pills or if they can open up the capsules and put it into their food, I would definitely have them do the capsules versus the chewables.
Okay. Do you have your kids on any of those?
I actually talked about putting them on the chewables the other day, but I don't think they're quite ready to chew those. So I'm going to start putting them on the X Factor. It's just a financial thing at this point. But,
right. Now, because like Delaney has bowel issues, and for the longest time they told us to give her Miralax and all that, and Miralax is still not good for your skin. I mean, I've really done a lot of research on that. And I was giving her some of the probiotic, and I noticed that she wasn't having as much of an issue. So I would just open it up and her yogurt and stuff.
I would, for her, I would probably try a BioCleanse too.
Yeah, that's my next step.
Yeah, I give both of my kids the probiotic right now. It helped. Jackson has had chronic constipation since he was born. It's not really an issue as long as I'm consistent with the probiotic. I will tell you if I miss it, it is a problem.
Yeah.
So I give him every day. I have not gotten to the point of wanting to give them the BioCleanse, but I do know, but he's never been to the point where he needs Miralax and things like that. Like he goes to the bathroom. It's just hard. And so that hasn't been an issue as long as I'm giving him the probiotic. Mm-hmm. But if he got to the point where he was completely constipated and not going unless he got a Miralax or something else, then I would add in the BioCleanse to see if that helps.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the next steps I was going to take.
And I don't know the exact specifics of it, but I've heard some long-term damage from using the Miralax and things like that consistently for kids or adults. So I would definitely try and see if the BioCleanse works. But yeah, the X Factor, because of the aloe in it, that actually might help her. You can look into aloe, but it really does help with a lot of stomach problems on its own. I mean, that's what most people use it for. I realize the purpose of it in our X Factor is to increase the absorption, but it does have a few extra benefits that she might get from it. I have a funky stomach sometimes in the morning, and I take my X Factor in the morning, and I genuinely think that it helps. The days that I don't take it, I notice a difference that my stomach is hurting.
Well, that's good to know, yeah.
I think that's all the products. Did I miss any?
No, I think you got them all. Because I have my planner with like old. I think you got them all.
Did you have any other questions, or Tracy? I know you came in halfway through. We just went over basics. We're gonna do. I'll do more in depth on the team calls, but we want to go over the basics of everything. right now with Marissa. And then, on the Tuesday calls, we'll pick one product each week or each month. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it. And you can write down any questions ahead of time and give them to me, or even on the call. If you give them to me ahead of time, I'll be able to research a little bit more if it's a question I'm not familiar with. I don't know everything by any means, but I'm happy to share with you what I do know. I'm still learning all of this stuff too. So if there's, any information that I didn't give you that you've heard, then by all means, please share it. We all learn from each other. But again, we'll be more in depth on the calls on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I mean, you did go over a lot that I know. That is really good to know. Like, pretty much with like the nerve health and the EASE capsule. Those are the two that I really want to get my mom on because of her diabetes and the neuropathy and the varicose veins. I remember your mom talking about it, and I couldn't remember what it was that she took. That it really hit home, and she said she was able to wear shorts. And I told my mom, since now that your mom, you didn't take the before and after pictures, I said we really need to get pictures of your leg so we can do, learn now that we definitely need before and after pictures.
I'm actually myself that I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I knew what the ingredients were. I know that those ingredients do that, but it didn't even dawn on me that that's
Right.
what happened until one day she comes out and she goes, wow, look, my veins, what could be doing this? I'm like, well, duh, nerve health is doing it. So, but she's had varicose veins forever. And then, I mean, they were bad. They're raised off of her legs. I know that you said your mom had them really bad too.
Yeah. She had one. She was standing at the kitchen counter one night when we were in our teens, and it just burst. It was squirting blood everywhere. It ruptured. My dad was on the computer, and we're like, Dad, he's like, hold on, I'm in solitaire. I mean, and he had to like try to turn it. I mean, it was like a horror movie. It was awful. And luckily, my legs, my mom always says, God, I got such nice legs. I'm so jealous of you. I'm like, yeah, I definitely got dad's skin. But I feel so bad because sometimes hers really hurt. Because they hurt. And that's not good,
They can cause medical problems. It's not just a combination. People think, oh, you just don't like the way they look. No, they can actually cause medical issues.
Yeah. I actually have a friend that works over at Malabar Mo's, my friend Leslie. She's 39. She'll be 40 tomorrow. She'll be 40. She's got them really bad. And she wears capris and jeans even in the summertime when it's 120 over there. Because she's embarrassed of them. So I'm definitely gonna do that.
You can take both of them together. It's not a one or the other. It's not like a boost in an accelerator.
Right.
Together. Both of my parents take both of them. My mom had sciatica as well, and that really, really, really helps with her sciatica pain. She can tell a major difference. When I've never taken nerve health, me personally, because I've gotten enough relief from my back problems just from EASE itself.
Yeah.
For her particular problems, she takes both of them. So
She warrants a little bit more attack. That's like my mom. Like she's got a torn rotor cuff really bad in her right shoulder, and I have the EASE cream, and she'll rub it on there because she's used BioFree. I mean, you name it. They've even sent out formulated creams from like a pharmaceutical that compound. Nothing. She loves it. I figured that would probably be the thing on the capsules.
Yeah. Like I said, I found, the EASE cream is great for like on the spot, relief right away, but long-term, you're definitely going to have to go with the capsules.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Tracy,
Well, I definitely covered it.
did you have any questions, Tracy? Okay, Amanda?
Did we lose them?
No, they're still on there.
No, I know. Tracy didn't unmute herself. She's probably trying to figure it out.
I'm still learning this thing. Now, well, I do have one question. I got my mom to finally buy something, and it's the X Factor. And she was like comparing, I think she just takes Centrum. She was comparing the X Factor label to Centrum. And she's like, this one doesn't have, I think, calcium. But I'm like, it's in New Zealand, right? Yeah. And then my mother-in-law, she's like, oh, can I still take a calcium supplement on top of this? She won't need to.
That's debatable. Some people need more calcium. Others, especially as women age, they need more calcium. So I don't think if she's, pre-osteoporosis or something like that, I would say to continue to take it until she can get blood work done again, and then they could talk and see exactly where her calcium levels are.
Okay.
Some people have a lot of vegetables and things like that, because that's broccoli, really good source of calcium. The green vegetables. But if she's not getting a lot of that from her diet, then yes, I would say continue to take on top of that. It's not really heavy in calcium, but I think that that's the hard sell when it comes to our particular formulas, because they're so much more absorbable than what you would get from a store-bought supplement. The same thing is with the proteins, you know what I mean? That's what I was saying. It was hard for me to kind of wrap my mind around why these vitamins were working so much better than a vitamin that has 2,000%, where ours has 100%. You know what I mean? You don't need to flood your body with all that extra stuff if you're actually absorbing it. Yeah. So if you have that has 4 times the amount of something that ours does, but you're only absorbing a quarter of it, what is the point of all that? All it is expensive pee, and that's why multivitamins have a really bad reputation. But ours, did you guys notice, have you guys taken a multivitamin before you took X Factor?
I've only just taken prenatal.
Okay.
And the peas feel up brighter.
Yes, I do notice that she's light.
Did you notice that your pee was bright yellow?
With the prenatal?
Yes.
Yeah. It's definitely light now.
Exactly. You're not cleaning out all the B vitamins, because B vitamins, I think I don't know which one it is, B6, I believe it is. But one of them actually can turn your pee that color. And that's how you can tell that you're absorbing so much more of the X Factor, because my personal pee is not neon yellow anymore like it was when I was taking Vitamin World vitamins.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely noticed my pee, but I think it's like, and then the other water helping it clear outside.
Even if you're on a multivitamin and you drink all your water, your pee will still come on you.
Yeah. Cool. Unmute myself.
Specifically, the type of pill that she's taking in a century pill, those are virtually non-digestible by your body. They have actually done an autopsy full pills inside the system not digestible. So you're not getting anything from that if it's literally just sitting there. I mean, that's scary in itself. But the fact that the outside of our pill is a capsule, once stomach acid hits that, it's going to immediately go away. So you're basically just swallowing the powder, if that makes sense. Whereas the hard pill, which is what Centrum is, and the majority of multivitamins, it's called a caplet or a tablet. They are very hard and they are virtually undigestible. So you are barely getting any of what you are actually taking because your body can't absorb it and you can't break it down. Another good selling point for X Factor or any multivitamin that's actually in capsule versus a harder pill. And is, you guys may or may not know this, but a lot of women cannot take multivitamins in the hard pills because it upsets their stomach. It's something about the coating on the outside of that tablet that really makes us kind of nauseous. And so that was one of the big problems I had at the vitamin store, because all of ours were hard tablets. Well, if you take it in a capsule form, especially with the aloe, it's not going to happen. I don't know anybody that gets an upset from our X Factor multivitamin. Amanda, I think we're done with products. Do you have anything you want to go over?
No, I mean, you guys pretty much covered it all. I don't want to go over anything before not having the team meeting. I know that was more of a product information practice, but I think that exactly what you shared is exactly what they're going to need and help them, like just hitting up on those key points and for them to learn about each product. But I think that we'll do one product each week, so you don't have to cover all the products, so doesn't become overwhelming, like sharing all the information, and then they kind of will sit there and learn it, and then the following week we'll follow up on another product.
Okay.
So thank you so much. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything? Tracy, Marissa,
No, I'm good.
you're good?
And Slim next week. So if you guys think of any, we're just going to start with the basics with Slim. So if you think of any questions ahead of time for Slim, just message me and let me know, and I'll be happy to research them and look them up and get you guys answers before the call. But otherwise, we're going to go with Slim next week. So.
Yeah, the night. I went pretty much through questions that he did the night before the call, or like, so Melissa does have the time to research it and give her the respect to put in the time for her to share the information with us. So I'll post that on the team page. So, all right. Well, thank you, girls, so much, Melissa. I want your brain.
Some days you can have it.
Well, if, Melissa, you can stay on real quick because I want to talk to you about Nick.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bye, girls.
Bye.
I'm trying to go through all this stuff. So Nick, he first of all downloaded the app on Messenger. So he didn't have Messenger on his phone.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He said he was, he has issues or whatever. But,
Well, that's good that he downloaded it. It's a little annoying that I can't get a message from him immediately.
yeah, I mean, I hope that talking to him a little bit helped. It pretty much is just a mental block. He's telling me that he doesn't have time. So that's kind of where it was at. I told him he doesn't reach out to enough people. I said maybe when he starts to follow up people to throw in the conversation rather than continuing to follow up himself, because obviously these people aren't going anywhere.
Right.
So.
Well, I was just hoping that bringing you in on it would, show him that he's got a lot more support than just me. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. And that's the point. That's what I want is because, you doing this with Marissa helped her. I told Tracy, I'm like, don't talk a whole lot because, Marissa was confused when I told her I was going to be on the call. I thought it was just Melissa. And I was like, yeah, Melissa told me. And I said that, Melissa asked me to be a part of it or whatever. But I was trying to give Marissa that time. Definitely those people that she wants the attention.
Right. Fine.
So, I told Tracy not to share a whole lot or talk a whole lot.
I mean, I realize that, she's been in and out the past however many years she's been doing this, but, even last night she was messaging me, telling me that she's trying to get to convention and, everything like that. So hopefully being a little bit more confident with the products will really help her.
Right. Oh my gosh, these sinuses are killing me.
Look how cute this is. Hold on. I'm going to show you. Look at my kids right now.
I'm trying to clean up my office and get more.
Check them out. Like big kids.
Hi. Hi, babies.
What are you guys eating?
Oh, that's good. Hi, Odie.
Hi.
I can't see what you can see.
I can see the kids.
Keep eating. They're the big kids sitting at the table outside eating now instead of sitting at their high chairs.
I know Grayson's sitting in the regular chair.
Yeah, my only concern is controlling them, because they'll get up and get down, and with two of them I just can't do that. So
Come on, Melissa, you can't.
my mom's like, we're ready to get rid of the high chairs. I'm like, no, we're not.
Right? No, I hear ya. Our high chair goes up and down, so I didn't realize it. Like, so it's the chair that goes into the table.
Yeah, I've got one that does that, but my other one doesn't, so I can't do it because that.
Right. Well, how are you feeling about everything?
Okay. I got a few people I need to follow up with that were asking for product information, and then just need to so follow up with that. But other than that, there's not much going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't the contest yet, have you?
What?
You haven't announced the contest yet?
No, I was going to do that today.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss it.
No, you didn't. I feel Brian started asking me questions, so I wanted to make sure that I'll probably reach out to you at some point today about it because I thought about something I don't remember.
All right. Well, I'm going to go help my mom feed the kids. So yeah, I'll be home all day. I have to take Jordan on an errand later, but other than that, I'll be home all day. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. Thank you. Tell your mom I said hi.
No problem.
All right. Bye, girl.